Welcome back students. Now we will study about enzymes and vitamins. Enzymes are actually biocatalysts. What is catalyst? Yes, catalyst is any substance which increases the rate of chemical reaction. In the same way, there are number of chemical reactions going inside our body. So those also require catalyst, and those catalysts which catalyze the biological processes are known as enzymes. Enzymes are mainly proteins and they are very important for our body. Apart from enzymes, we'll study about vitamins also. Vitamins are very important part of our diet because they are required in very small amount, but they are highly required for maintaining the balance in our body, for proper functions of our body parts. So let's start the study. Enzymes are biocatalysts. We know what are catalysts. Catalyst is any substance which increases the rate of a chemical reaction. It may also decrease that, but in generally we assume that catalysts are those substances which increase the rate of reaction and they are not consumed during the course of reaction itself. Similarly, enzymes are biocatalysts. That means they change or increase the rate of chemical reactions which are taking place inside our body biological system. So they are biocatalysts. They are chemically proteins. Enzymes are proteins and they are highly specific as compared to any simple catalyst. Enzymes are highly specific. That means at once they catalyze only a particular reaction or a particular substance. Another thing is that there are lots of chemical reactions taking place inside our body continuously, and all those chemical reactions are controlled by these enzymes. So enzymes are very essential part of our body. Without enzymes our body cannot function well. Enzymes require particular condition of pH and temperature for their accurate working. There is a particular pH for every enzyme at which its activity is maximum, and that is known as its optimum pH. Similarly, there is a temperature at which an enzyme shows maximum activity, and that is known as its optimum temperature. And optimum temperature of most of the biological catalysts present in our body is 37 degrees Celsius. That is why our temperature of our body is also 37 degrees Celsius. So enzymes are highly specific and they are highly efficient. That means they increase the rate of reaction very efficiently as compared to any general non-inorganic catalyst. So enzymes are highly specific, they are highly efficient, and they require particular temperature of pH and their particular temperature and pH for their working. So overall, enzymes are biocatalysts. They are specific for particular reaction of a particular substance. For example, there is an enzyme maltase. Maltase means it acts on maltose and ase. Actually, the name of enzyme ends with ase. So maltase catalyzes the hydrolysis of maltose in our body. It converts maltose into glucose because maltose is a disaccharide which is formed by a combination of glucose units. So maltase acts on maltose and breaks down into glucose units. So name of an enzyme ends with ase. And how do enzyme work actually? By decreasing the activation energy. We know the rate of any chemical reaction can be increased if its activation energy is decreased somehow, and this work is done by enzymes. Enzymes act on a substrate and they decrease the rate of the amount of activation energy for that particular reaction, because of which the reaction takes place with greater speed now. So this is a diagrammic representation. If this is a reaction which is taking without any, black one represents the reaction which is taking without any catalyst or any enzyme, and you can see that the activation energy is very high. If an enzyme is involved in this reaction, activation energy decreases considerably, and because of which the rate of reaction gets increased and the reaction can take place easily with greater speed. Now there are some enzymes which are found in our body in biological system. The first is sucrase. Ase is the name of enzyme. It is used for enzyme, and this name indicates that it is an enzyme which acts on sucrose. So obviously sucrase converts sucrose into monosaccharide units, which are actually glucose and fructose in case of sucrose. Similarly, maltase acts on maltose and converts it into glucose units. Lactase works on lactose and converts it into glucose and galactose. Isomaltase converts maltose to isomaltose. Similarly, there is an enzyme pepsin which converts, or in fact which breaks down proteins into smaller peptide fragments. And then there is an amylase which converts starch into soluble sugars. And trypsin converts protein to basic amino acids. And this is how actually enzymes work. Enzymes have active site on their surface. This active site is and that is why enzymes are very specific in nature. Only those substances which can perfectly bind or fit into this activation, these active sites can only be catalyzed by that particular enzyme. So what happens that the substrate, let's say if we are talking about sucrose, then the substrate sucrose, which consists of glucose and fructose units, they bound on the active site of enzyme, because of which a enzyme substrate complex is formed, on which there is an enzyme which has substrate, that is sucrose, on its activation site. They perfectly bind with each other. The reaction takes place on the surface, and on the surface only actually the sucrose is broken down into glucose and fructose, and once this takes place, the reaction completes, finally the products are released and the enzyme is again free. So overall we can say that enzymes decrease the activation energy by providing an alternative pathway for the reaction. The reaction takes place on the surface of enzyme. They provide surface for the reaction to take place in an easier way. Now next are vitamins. Vitamins are actually organic compounds which are required in diet in small amounts actually to maintain the normal health, growth and nutrition. And they are basically classified into two groups. The first are water soluble vitamins and fat soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins are vitamin C and vitamin B group vitamins, which are known as also vitamin B complex, which include B1, B2, B6, B12, etc. And other are fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K. Again, let me tell you here that water soluble vitamins are actually not stored inside our body because they are soluble in water, so they come out in the body with urine because they dissolve in water. So water soluble vitamins are not stored inside our body, so it is required to have them in regular diet so that we do not suffer from the deficiency of these enzymes. These vitamins are important for biological process. They are required in a very small amount, but if they are not consumed in that small amount also, we suffer from diseases, we suffer from deficiency diseases which highly affect our growth and normal health. So first of all, let's start with vitamin A. Vitamin A maintains normal vision and healthy eye tissues, epithelial tissues actually, the skin. Epithelial tissue refer to our upper skin. So vitamin A is required for our vision and also for our epithelial tissue, skin. And what is the source of vitamin A is fish liver oil, carrots, butter and milk. In short, we can say that they are obtained from butter, milk, animal sources like fish liver oil, as well as they are obtained from carrot or any other colored fruit like mango, papaya. The fruit which is colored will provide us carotene, which will convert it into vitamin A within our body. So the first of all, the liver, fish liver or liver of any other animal is very rich source for any mineral or any vitamin, because whatever we eat is stored in our liver. So the source of vitamin A is fish liver oil, carrot or any other colored fruit, butter and milk. And if we have deficiency, we suffer from our eye diseases like night blindness. Next is vitamin B1. It plays a key role in production of energy. And the source is yeast, milk, green vegetables and cereals. We obtain them from cereals. And if we have deficiency of vitamin B1, the disease is known as beriberi. Next is vitamin B2, and it has a function that it helps in conversion of carbohydrates into glucose. Whatever we eat, it has a good amount of carbohydrate in that, and that carbohydrate is digested in our body to convert it into glucose, and from that glucose we get our energy. So vitamin B2 plays an important role in conversion of carbohydrates into glucose units, and also the production of cells and DNA from free radicals. Now, next, its source. Its sources are milk, egg white, liver, and kidney. So you can see from here that those are this vitamin B2 is mainly obtained from animal sources. And if we have deficiency of vitamin B, we suffer from digestive disorders, burning sensation of the skin, and chaosis. Vitamin B6. Its function is synthesis of antibodies and hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is required in our blood because it is the pigment which supplies oxygen to our body parts from our lungs, and also antibodies helps in our immunity. They are required for our immunity. Also, it helps in maintenance of normal nervous function, breakdown of protein, and regulation of blood sugar. And its sources are yeast, milk, egg yolk, cereals, and gram. And if we suffer from deficiency, the disease is this convulsions. Vitamin B1, 2. The function of vitamin B12 is basically formation of red blood cells and maintenance of central nervous system. Its sources are meat, fish, egg, and curd. And deficiency disease is actually anemia because it helps in formation of red blood cells. Vitamin C is useful for maintenance of teeth and gums, replacement of tissue in our body, inhibition of histamine actually, and improvement of body defense mechanism. Sources are citrus fruits. Vitamin C is also known as citric acid. It is obtained from citrus fruit, amla, green leafy vegetables. And deficiency disease obviously scurvy, bleeding gums. Then vitamin D is also known as sunshine vitamin because it is mainly obtained from sunlight. It is not obtained from sunlight actually. It is synthesized in our skin whenever it is exposed to sunlight. So the chief source of vitamin D is sunlight. Its function is absorption of calcium required for growth of bone. Vitamin D is required for whatever we eat, we have calcium in that, but that would be absorbed from the digestive food only if we have vitamin D. Vitamin D helps in absorption of calcium, which is required for growth of bone and our teeth. And sources are obviously exposure to the sunlight. Apart from that, fish and egg yolk. Deficiency disease is rickets actually, and other bone diseases. So definitely it is highly required for our bone and teeth. Vitamin E. The function of vitamin E is improvement of immune system and formation of red blood cells. Also to prevent the clotting of blood within our blood vessels. Sources are vegetable oils like wheat gram oil or sunflower oil, and deficiencies obviously increased fragility of red blood cells and muscular weakness. Vitamin K. The functions are that it is required for normal blood clotting. That means vitamin K helps in blood clotting and synthesis of protein which is found in plasma. Sources are green leafy vegetables. Deficiency disease obviously delay in blood clotting. So students, now we are aware of enzymes, their roles, and how do they function in our body. Apart from them, we studied about vitamins also. We studied about the role of various vitamins in our body, including vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E and K, and we also know that what are fat soluble vitamins and what are water soluble vitamins. In our next video we will move to nucleic acids. So keep watching. Thank you.